Welcome back to CodeChef. By now, you're a pro at working with Python lists. But what if you have data that should never change? That's where tuples come in. Today, we'll learn about this essential data type and why it's a game changer for handling fixed data. Think about your birthday. Your birth date is a specific sequence of information: the day, the month, and the year. You wouldn't want those values to accidentally change, right? Just like a birth date, a tuple is a perfect way to store a set of data that should remain constant. Once you create a tuple, you know its contents are set in stone. You can't accidentally change the day, the month, or the year. This makes them incredibly reliable for data that must not be changed. In this tutorial, you will learn what a tuple is and how it's different from a list, how to create a tuple, the key concept of immutability, the count method, the index method, and the built-in functions, len, min, max, and sum. A tuple is an ordered, immutable collection of items. It's similar to a list, but with one crucial difference: you cannot change its contents. Tuples are defined using parentheses, open parenthesis, close parenthesis instead of the square bracket's open square bracket, close square bracket that we use for lists. Inside, the elements are separated by commas. The most important thing to remember is the word immutable. This means unchangeable. Once you create a tuple, you can't modify it. Let's create a tuple in our code. Here, we'll store the details for a city, like its name and population. Just like with lists, we can access the individual elements in a tuple using their index. The index starts at 0. In this code, we have our city tuple, and we are accessing the city name using index 0 and the population using index 1. We then print both of these values. Now, let's see what happens if we try to change a value in our tuple. We'll try to update the population. This will cause an error. Let's see these in action with a tuple of game high scores. First, let's use the .count method to see how many players got a score of 1,500. We call highscores.count 1,500. This method searches the high scores tuple, counts every occurrence of the value 1,500, and returns the total. We then store this value in the count of 1,500 variable and print the result. Next, we can find the position of the first player to get a score of 1,800 with the .index method. We call highscores.index open parenthesis 1800 close parenthesis. This method searches through the tuple and gives us the index of the very first time it finds the value 1800, which is 2. This value is then stored in the index of 1,800 variable and printed. Now, let's use the len function, which tells us how many scores are in our tuple. When we call len high scores, Python counts all the items and returns the total number, which is 6. The min and max functions quickly find the lowest and highest scores for us. We simply pass our tuple into each function to get the respective minimum and maximum values, which are then printed. And finally, we can use the sum function to get the total sum of all the scores. So, when would you use a tuple instead of a list? For database records that should not be modified, like a user's date of birth or a product's initial IID number. For function arguments that you want to protect from being changed. Anytime your data is a fixed collection that should not change, a tuple is a perfect choice. Time for a quick practice round. We have a tuple of student scores on your screen. Ready? Here is the solution. Your challenge is to find 4 key pieces of information from this tuple: the total number of students, the highest score, the lowest score, and the total sum of all the scores. Go ahead and pause the video now to try it out. To get the total number of students, we use len. Then, we use max and min to find the highest and lowest scores. And finally, sum adds all the scores together. This shows how we can get a complete analysis with just a few lines of code. Let's quickly recap what we've learned. Tuples are ordered collections of items, just like lists, but they are defined with parentheses. The most important rule is that tuples are immutable. You can't change them once they are created. We use .count and .index to find specific items. We used len, min, max, and sum to analyze the tuple's contents. Knowing when to choose a tuple over a list is a sign of a great programmer. Next time, ask yourself, does this data need to stay exactly the same? If the answer is yes, use a tuple.